cultural part of our program, we bring you Bullwinkle's Corner with that moose of letters, Bullwinkle.
Hello there. Today's poem is from Mother Moose.
Mother Goose.
Goose? Must be a misprint. Anyways, the poem is Little Miss Muffet. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet.
What's a tuffet? What's a tuffet?
It's what I'm sitting on, eating her curds and whey. Boy, this stuff is terrible. Along come a spider and... You're the spider?
He couldn't make it.
But you ain't scary. You're supposed to scare me.
Okay, fellas, up.
Take two. Along come a spider and sat down beside her and... Ah! A spider! A spider!
Hey!
Oh, Rock.
Hey, Miss Muffet, your curds and whey are on your head.
Let me tell you something. I'd rather wear 'em than eat 'em.
And now for the poetic part of our show, we present Bullwinkle's Corner.
Greetings, culture crowd. Today's poem is an old Greek classic called The Horn. I translate. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep...
Hold it, hold it.
What?
I forgot my music. Okay, let's go.
That's kind of a big horn, ain't it?
It's a big part.
Oh. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow. The cow's in the corn.
Boy, that's hard work.
Oh, where is the boy who looks after the sheep?
Don't ask me. I'm a musician myself.
He's under a haystack fast asleep is where, doggone it.
Why'd you call this poem The Horn anyway?
'Cause obviously that's what the little boy blew.
And now for our moment of culture, here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello there. The name of today's poem is, Where Go the Boats? Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever with trees on either hand. Green leaves a-floating, castles on the foam. Boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? On goes the river, down past the mill. Away down the valley, away down the hill. Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam. Boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? Away down the river, 100 miles or more. Other little children shall bring my boats ashore.
Out goes the bad air, in comes the good.
Green leaves a-floating, castles on the foam. Boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home?
Now here's our own tribute to the arts, Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello there. Today's poem is called My Shadow. Okay, Rock. Thank you. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He stays so close behind me, he's a coward, you can see. I'd think shame to stick to Nursey like... Ooh! All right, wise guy, pull him up, pull him up! Any time a dang busted shadow gets flipped with me... Ooh! Okay, you've been asking for it. Ooh. Well, I still got my secret weapon. Okay, Rocky, turn off the light. Oh, fiddle faddle.
And now another treat for all you poetry lovers, Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello there, cat fanciers. Today's poem is that soul-stirring classic, I Love Little Pussy. Where's the pussycat, Rock?
Over there, but it's not really.
Poem. I love little pussy. Her coat is so warm. And if I don't hurt her, she'll do. No, Rock, this is a tiger.
I know, the pet store made a mistake.
So I'll not pull her tail or drive her away. But Pussy and I very gently will play.
Bullwinkle, what are you doing up here?
I'm looking from a poetry book.
Why, look up here. You lost it down there.
Yeah, but up here the light's better. Time again for Bullwinkle's Corner. Hello there. Today's poem is called Taffy. Taffy was a Welshman. Taffy was a thief.
You ain't kidding, governor.
Taffy came to my house and stole a piece of beef. Hey, that's a whole cow.
So I'm petting my part a little.
I went to Taffy's house. Taffy wasn't home. Taffy went to my house and stole a marrow bone. Marrow bone, that's a whole leg of lamb. I went to Taffy's house. Taffy wasn't in.
You can't read? Sign says out.
I know you're in there. I can hear you breathing. Taffy went to my house and stole a silver pin. That's a pin?
Just poetic license.
As he went to Taffy's house, Taffy in bed took up Marrowbone, hit him in the head. I went to Taffy's house. Taffy was in bed. And do you know what the last line is?
Of course. Took up Marrowbone and hit him in the head. What do you know? Unhappy ending.
And now it's time for Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello. Today's poem is Wee Willie Winkie. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in his nightgown, peeping through the windows, crying through the lock. Are the children in their beds? For it's now 8 o'clock.
George, there's a prowler outside! Help! Police!
Uh-oh.
There he goes! Head him off!
Hold it, you. Up against the wall. Okay, what's your name?
Wee Willie Winkie.
Hello, R&I. You got a mate and a mug named Winkie?
Why the candle? You a firebug or something?
Sir, I am a moose.
Okay, Jack, into the wagon.
Look at that rock. That's just terrible.
How come?
Why, they spelled Bullwinkle with only one L.
And now, here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Today's poem is Little Jack Horner. It's really me. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating a Christmas pie. Baked it myself. He stuck in his thumb and... Oh! Crust must have come out a little hard. Just a second. Now, he pulled out a plum and... Well, no pie crust is going to beat Bullwinkle J. Moose. He stuck in his thumb.
What did you put in that pie crust?
Just some shortening and this flour.
Bullwinkle, that's cement.
It is. Boy, that makes me sore.
'Cause you ruined your house?
No, but I've lost a perfectly good plum.
Well, you lucky people, time again for Bullwinkle's Corner.
Thank you, Rocky. Today's poem is that intimate story of life among the royalty, the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts, all on a summer's day. They look good, Queenie. What kind are they?
Soybean, rutabaga, asparagus, and turnip.
Turnip? Turnip tarts?
I used my health food cookbook.
Ooh. Well, on with the poem. The Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and took them clean away.
Stop, thief!
Come back here, you tart napper! The King of Hearts called for those tarts and beat the knave full sore. The Knave of Hearts gave back the tarts and vowed he'd steal no more. Oh, you don't get off that easy. You stole 'em, friend. You eat 'em. Hello, poetry lovers. Today's poem is a story of crime in the big city. Tom the Piper's son. Boom, boom, boom. Tom the Piper's son stole a pig and away he... Oop!
Police officer, what do you got in the bag?
It's a sort of a pig.
You got a permit to pack a pig?
Well, no, I...
Better come along with us.
You know it's a felony to pack a pig over a state line?
No!
Pig napping.
But it's a pig in a poem.
What, a pig in a poke, huh?
What poke? Poem. Pig in a poem.
Pig poem.
Not so pig, just about...
You making fun of the way we talk?
No, but it's catching.
Name?
I'm Tom the Piper's son.
All right, Piper son, what were you going to do with the pig?
Well, the poem says the pig was eat, but...
Gonna eat it, huh?
No!
On a platter, huh?
No!
Apple in its mouth like that.
Certainly not.
All right, Piper son, you can go, but don't leave town.
Thanks. Can I have my pig back?
No. Evidence.
Darn.
One more thing, Piper son.
What's that?
You got an apple on you?
knowledge seekers. Today's subject is how to train your doggy for fun and profit. To train a doggy, you need two things. A trainer, that's me, and a doggy. A small doggy. That's better. The first thing to do is to make friends with the doggy. Take his little paw in yours and shake hands just like he was... Oh! 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 Next, the doggy should be trained to come when you call. Come here, boy. Come on. Other boy, come here. Come here. Here, maybe? Here? All right, you doggone dog, stay there. See, it just takes a firm hand and a... where'd it... Oof! But the most important thing is to let the doggy know just who is the master. Look into his eyes and say, "You will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg."
Gee, are you all right, Bullwinkle?
Sure, Rocky.
Okay, then. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're certainly welcome. Time for Bullwinkle's Corner. Today's poem is a ballad of the war between the states. Barbara Frietchie. The spires of Frederick usually stand green-walled by the hills of Maryland. But the town was deserted that autumn day, 'cause Confederate troops were on the way. But there old Barbara Frietchie sat. Her Union heart was loyal yet. Then up the street came the fearsome call.
Ye Stonewall bodies! Hi, you all!
Under his slouch hat left and right he glanced, then saw a wondrous sight.
Oh, boy!
Quick as it fell from the clothesline there, Dame Barbara snatched her underwear. "Shoot if you must this old gray head, but spare my Union suit," she said.
Foolish girl!
"Hold it, Stonewall! Who touches the hair of my gray head dies like a dog. March on," I said. I may be patriotic, but I'm not crazy.
And now, once again, to give you an insight on his outlook, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, low IQers! Today's discussion concerns how to tame lions and pick up a little scratch on the side of your head. In order to tame a lion, one needs 4 items: a whip, a gun, a chair, and a tame lion, like Teddy here. Got up on the wrong side of the cage, didn't we? First, we proceed to test the whip. This is done by snuffing out a candle that sits on the head of a small flying squirrel.
You sure you know what you're doing, Mr. Know-It-All?
Haven't missed yet. We are now prepared to face the lion. Are you ready, Teddy? Now for my next subject, how to run the 4-minute mile in 30 seconds with whip and chair.
Wait a minute. Aren't you going to show us how to tame a lion?
Not with Teddy being as ready as he is.
Oh, come on.
Very well. I shall tame him with hypnotism. Teddy, look into my eyes. Now I am the master. You are the slave. You are in my power. Now I shall demonstrate the most dangerous feat of all, putting my head into Teddy's mouth. Teddy!
That's wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. And now, here with an unlimited supply of misinformation is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, Inquester out there. Today I shall instruct you on how to cook a turkey's goose. The first step in cooking a turkey is to preheat the oven to 6,000 degrees.
Don't you think that's awfully hot?
Only for the turkey. Now, while the oven is preheating, we go out in search of a turkey. There are many ways of snaring a turkey, the most surefire of which is to shake some paprika on his nose. This not only stops him from taking flight, but clears up the sinuses as well. The second surefire way is to utilize the turkey in the straw trap. This consists of a deep pit covered with a straw mat. We sprinkle turkey seeds on the mat. The turkey comes after the seeds, steps on the mat, and walks off into the forest. Perhaps the turkey does not weigh enough. But the moose does. The third surefire method of catching a turkey is the last and never fails. Mr. Butcher, let me have a turkey, please. And now all that remains is to cook the bird in the preheated oven.
But, Mr. Know-It-All, I still think the oven at 6,000 degrees is too hot.
It couldn't be. I haven't lit it yet. So, taking a match, I walk into the kitchen and...
Well, thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're welcome down there!
And now for the uninformed, here's the biggest informer of them all, Mr. Know-It-All.
Greetings, brain builder-uppers. Today's subject is swimming can be fun and wet. Now, in order to swim, one must have a pool. And in order to have a pool, one must have a hole. One here. After lining the hole with cement, fill it with H2O's, which is soft water. We are now ready for our fun. There are many ways of entering the pool, but the best way is via the diving board. Of course, it does help if you put the board over the pool. Once in the water, there are many things you can do, like swimming. Now, for all you neophytes, those are swimmers made out of rubber, it is a good idea to start with the dog paddle. Yeah. Chewed the paddle up a little, didn't you? The second most widely used stroke is the butterfly. Before entering the water, wave the arms like a butterfly and...
What do you know? An antlered fire-winged goofus.
Put me down!
A talking antlered fire-winged goofus.
Oh, well. Even if you can't swim, just get yourself an old inner tube, put it around your middle, and jump in.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. Mr. Know-It-All? And now, here to tell you everything about anything is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, knowledge thirsties. Today's subject is how to sell vacuum cleaners and clean up. Now, the two prime requisites in selling vacuums are the customer and the customee. The customer, or victim, usually lives in a house like this one. The customee, or salesman, has to get in the house. Rule number 1, always get your foot in the customer's door. Good morning, customer. Would you be interested in... Dutch door, huh? Rule number 2, find a door one can put one's foot in. Good morning, customer. Mind if I put my foot in your... Rule number 3, forget rule number 1. At this point, also forget about getting in the door and find another way of getting in, such as a window. Preferably an open window.
Look at mess you made.
Oh, sure, customer. I shall rectify that in a jiffy.
Hey, what you doing?
It's an extra feature. It not only cleans up, it dirties up. Wait a second, I shall put it in reverse and suck up everything in sight.
Boy, you wasn't kidding. You picked up whole room. Congratulations. You begged the customer.
Not to mention the customee.
And now for all you aspiring intellectuals, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, aspirings. Today's thesis is how to cure the hiccups. Now, in order to cure the hiccups, you must first have a hiccuper. You got the hiccups, Boris?
What for I got to have hiccups?
So I can cure them. Oh, never mind. I'll help you get hiccups, then I'll cure them. One of the most popular ways to catch hiccups is to eat rich food.
That's rich food. Looks just like chicken.
It is chicken.
Chicken isn't rich.
Then we'll make it rich by stuffing it with dollar bills, pieces of 8, a few pieces of 9. Now, down the hatch. Splendid. Now, let me hear those hiccups.
Can't.
Why not?
'Cause rich food agrees with me.
Another way of getting hiccups is overexertion. You all set to run?
All set.
Then you're off. 2 hours on the cinder path. You have the hiccups?
No, but I got the Davis cup, the gold cup, a mustache cup, and the cup of coffee.
When you really get down to it, the only thing that'll give you hiccups is to drink 42 gallons of milk. Bottoms up.
Oh, boy.
Now, let me hear what I'm after.
How's everything going, Mr. Know-It-All?
Oh, the whole thing's a bust.
Well, better luck next time. Thank you, Mr.
Wouldn't you know it?
And now for all you knowledge seekers, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hi there! Today's subject is how to open a jar of pickles. The simplest way to open a jar of pickles is to unscrew the lid, turning gently from left to right. Oh! If that doesn't work, turn it right to left. Oh! Well, there are other ways of opening it. Putting the jar under hot water will usually do the trick, and if you happen to be in Yellowstone Park, the best hot water comes up out of Old Faithful, the geyser. You place the jar right over the hole, taking care to be well clear before the geyser goes. When you get out of the hospital, you take a slightly different approach.
I got the hammer, Mr. Know-It-All.
Splendid, splendid. When the lid is tapped, it is certain to loosen. Now, when I nod my head, you hit it with the hammer.
Right, Bullwinkle. Huh?
I think I made that perfectly clear. I said, when I nod my head, hit it with the hammer.
If you say so.
Okay, I nod thusly and... If everything else fails, we climb to an altitude of 5,000 feet and hurl the jar and ourselves earthward. Pocahontas! But if you really want to open a jar of pickles...
Wait a minute, Mr. Know-It-All. That isn't a jar of pickles. That's a jar of jelly.
No wonder I couldn't open it. It's jammed.
And now for all you co-eds who wish to become scholars, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello out there, scholarly maids. Today's subject is how to get into the movies without buying a ticket. The first approach is to go directly to the manager and say, "Where's my pass?" Unruffled by that minor setback, we try phase 2, which involves a disguise. Hello there, I'm Flo Ziegfeld. How's my show going tonight? Phase 3, seeking out the location of the freight elevator, we then proceed down into the basement, where we shall then proceed up to the balcony. That's the deepest basement I ever saw.
Is gate-crashing moose again?
Hello, Mr. Theater Manager. I should like to apply for a job as a usher.
What experience you got?
I've been in the dark most of my life.
Is good enough. Course, job don't pay much.
How much?
Bag of popcorn and all ticket stubs you can find.
It's a deal! Donning the usherette's uniform, we then proceed to our post in the mezzanine. Going through a door, we find ourselves... Wrong door. Hello, Mr. Theater Manager. I took the wrong...
Where's your ticket?
I don't need a ticket. I'm your new usher.
Don't need no new usher. Just hired new usher.
That did it. I wouldn't go in that theater if they gave me the place.
Why not?
I just happened to notice. I've seen this picture 3 times already.
And now, for all you senior students who are just about to graduate, here are some words of wisdom from Mr. Know-It-All.
Buenos dias, senors. Today's lecture is entitled, How to Catch a Bee and Make Your Honey Happy. Ordinarily, one can find a bee in a meadow of sweet-smelling flowers. However, if one lives in Death Valley, the task becomes a little tougher, but not surmountable. Here we have a Geiger counter, which tells us 2 things. Whether we are approaching a bee or walking over a landmine. If the bee lover can't find the bee, make the bee come to the bee lover. This can be attained by luring him with a honeycomb. We simply take a comb, gook it up with a jar of honey, and place it on the ground. You can be sure a bee will make a beeline for it. Ah, here comes one now. That was a bee, all right. A bee-29. Moving from Death Valley to a meadow of sweet-smelling flowers, we finally do locate a bee, and there on that petal is one now. Utilizing the thumb and forefinger, we gently pick him up so as not to hurt his delicate little... Oh!
Catch the bee, Mr. Know-It-All?
No, I didn't, and I'm going to see that he never gets elected.
Well, why are you going into that voting booth?
I'm going to vote no on Proposition B.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, America! Today's mental fire drill comes under the heading of How to be a Cowpuncher without getting hit back. The simplest way of learning how to punch cows is to join a cattle drive. The person who does the hiring is called a 5-man, which is a 4-man who got promoted.
You with the built-in chaps. It's Betty by time for cattle. You stand guard. You got gun?
Sure, right here.
Tell me, why you got hot water bottle on gun?
It's a sick shooter.
Not feeling good, huh? Does it shoot?
Does it shoot?
Now look what you done. Kettle are stampeding.
Never fear, I shall stop them.
How do you stop 5,000 fear-crazed beasts?
By holding up 5 fear-crazed fingers and saying, whoa!
That's very good. How do you get them started again?
Oh, by saying, giddy up. After serving his apprenticeship, the full-fledged cowboy now puts his knowledge to use by joining a rodeo, or radio, they're both correct.
And the winner of the Bronco busting event is Mr. Know-It-All.
Golly, Mr. Know-It-All, you sure can ride.
Yeah, you're only supposed to stay on 10 seconds. I've been on this critter 10 hours.
How do you manage to stay on him so long?
Very simple. I got a pocket full of dimes.
And now, here for all you men of letters is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, mailmen. Today's dissertation is subtitled, How to Escape from Devil's Island and Get Away from It All. Supposing you were incarcerated on Devil's Island, and supposing further still you had served 10 years out of your 30-day sentence, you would want out. And this is how you would do it. First, you would put on your bathing suit, then walk out of your cell and go directly to the warden, who is standing on the edge of a high cliff.
Good morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good morning to you, merciless jailkeeper. For my recreation period today, I am going to swim to the mainland. Having completely pulled the wool over his eyeballs, you make the leap, and you're on your way out. Fortunately, so is the tide. After returning to Devil's Island, they put you where they put all the incorrigibles, in the kitchen.
You going to peel potatoes till they're coming out of your ears?
This should give you an idea. Putting a potato in each ear, you jump into a sack and await shipment to a foreign port. Of course, there is always the danger they are having potato soup for dinner.
Whoever peeled these spuds did crummy job.
I'm doing the best I can. And that is how you escape from Devil's Island.
But Mr. Know-It-All, you didn't get out.
I most certainly did, by joining the baseball team.
And that's how you escaped.
Sure. 3 strikes and you're out. Hello there, I am Mr. Know-It-All. Today, for all you golf addicts who are having father-in-law trouble, I am going to show you how to shoot par. Arriving at the golf course, we seek out the services of a caddy, preferably a big, strong one.
Hi.
Or a little weak one, as the case may be. First, I shall demonstrate the neophyte golfer's worst habit. Hand me my driver, caddy.
Yes, sir.
Now hand me a cup of tea.
Cup of tea? What are you going to do with that?
I'm going to tee off. That done, we now hit the ball.
Gee, you missed.
I know, which proves you should never drink when you drive. Having finally hit the ball, we discover it has landed in some thick woods. Therefore, I choose an iron for my next club.
Here you are, Mr. Know-It-All.
That isn't an iron, you silly caddy. This is an iron. The iron will not only flatten out your swing, it also flattens the golfer, or golfee.
Uh-oh. Tough luck, Mr. Know-It-All. It went right into the sand trap.
The only effective way to get the ball out of a sand trap is by blasting.
Mr.
What do you know? A hole-in-one. One moose, that is. Buenos dias, caddy.
Where are you going, Mr. Know-It-All?
I'm going to play in a tournament down in Tijuana.
Tijuana? I never heard of a tournament down there.
Oh, come now. Everybody's heard of the Gulf of Mexico. Today's lecture is entitled Magic Made Easy, the Hard Way. There are 6 basic tricks, the first of which is the trickiest, namely, pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
This looks familiar.
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! The more I try this, the further away I get. One of the most popular tricks, and least requested I might add, is sawing a man in half.
Here's your saw, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thank you. Here we go. Ta-da! Now I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't you swear this man was cut in half? Go ahead, sir. Walk off the stage. Both halves, both halves. And now for the most difficult trick of all, the living pincushion. Step inside the box, Rock.
What are you going to do?
You see these swords? Once you're inside, I shall pierce the box.
And me too?
Well, we hope not.
Well, I'm not going in there.
Very well. Then I shall call upon the services of my pet Jersey. Bossy, take your place in the box. There. Now, Bossy and I will astound you. Taking the swords, I plunge them into every section of the box. Into the bottom, the top, the sides. Sword after sword. Now you will see that although the box is perforated with swords, Bossy is untouched. Take a look inside, Rock.
I'm not going to look in there.
All righty, I shall look myself. Now, there you see. Holy cow!
And now for all you intellectuals, the ones who hid their blocks in knowledge, here he is, Mr. Know-It-All.
Greetings, blockheads. Today's dissipation is entitled, How to Turn a Beastly Failure into a Monstrous Success. Suppose one day you are fooling around with your junior chemistry set and you advertently drop a little H2SO4 into your CIO. No, you got a monster on your hands. Mad scientists have had this trouble for years. Llewellyn, show the folks there's a little good in everything. To take one's place in society, a monster must be self-supporting, like suspenders, or getting a job. Well, goodbye, monster. Do a good day's work. 5 o'clock. Here he comes. How did the day go, monster? What's this, an example of your work? Why didn't you tell me you were working for a bomb company? Last and certainly most least, you must overcome the monster-like tendency not to share. That is why we are up in this plane. To make it realistic, we shall develop motor trouble. As you see, you are the only one with a parachute. Now, the civilized monster knows the meaning of share and share alike. So, share the parachute with me. And hurry. Well, I must say, he gave me the biggest half. And so, in conclusion, you can see the monster can be trained to take his place in the sun.
But what are you going to do with him, Mr. Know-It-All?
What do you mean, what am I going to do with him? Happy birthday, Rocky!
For all you wise men who wish to become wiser, here is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, wise guys. Today's dissertation is provocatively subtitled, How to Remove a Mustache Without Getting Any Lip. Now, you can't shave a mustache unless you have a mustache.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I would like a mustache to go.
Which kind you prefer, the $1,000 type or the $999 type?
Actually, I'd like something right in the middle. Say around $1.50.
I'm sorry, but we only sell expensive mustaches.
As you can see, the average mustache remover is bound to run into an occasional obstacle.
Yes, sir.
I'd like a loan.
Any collateral?
What'll you give me for a flying squirrel?
Say around $1,000.
Just what I need. Where do I sign?
This is a stick-up.
Doggone pen. Doesn't want to give any ink. Oh, sorry about that, sir. Here, let me hold your gun. Sometimes the average mustache remover encounters lots of obstacles. But, Your Highness, this is all a mistake.
99 years. Take them away.
And so it is with deep regrets I am unable to tell you how to remove
Mr. Know-It-All, your lip! You've grown a mustache!
I have! Quick, I just have time to remove it! Hand me my miracle mustache remover!
But that isn't...
We liberally sprinkle all exposed areas with this...
But it isn't mustache remover!
No? What is it?
Vanishing cream!
No, he tells me.
And now for all of you who like to think big, here's Mr. Know-It-All!
Hello, you big thinkers, you! Today's lecture is entitled, Falling Asleep on the Job Can Lead to a Rude Awakening, or Don't Be a Somnambulist Chaser. Let us suppose first that you are an admiral in the army doing sentry duty. The condition is red, and so are your eyeballs from lack of sleep. Falling asleep here would mean you'd lose your good conduct ribbon. The best way to stay awake is rush inside the nearest shack and light a cigarette. Preferably a candy cigarette. Next, we shall take a situation often faced by test pilots. You find yourself in the latest model, with your speedometer reading half full. You are ready to go into a screaming dive. After you land, right now it is your job to break the sound barrier. Or at least bend it a little. You turn on your radio and contact the tower. This is Red Letter Day, calling Disabled Baker Charlie. Mayday, over. You discover to your disgust that Disabled Baker Charlie has gone into a screaming dive to wait for you. Anxious to get this over with, you throw the ship into a screaming dive. Hiya, fellas. Now I ask you, who could sleep in here?
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All, for showing us how to stay awake. For those of you who want to soak up some extra knowledge, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, spongeheads. Today's topic is entitled, How to Remove a Unwanted Guest from Your House and Make More Living Room. Supposing you are on your way home from the butcher shop with 14 hot dogs, and you discover there is a 15th hot dog, one with large teeth and an appetite to match. It is obvious that the 15th hot dog, whom we shall call Spot, has designs on the 14 hot dogs. Just inches ahead of your pursuer, you arrive home safely. Flushed with victory, you examine your 14 hot dogs, only to find that they are now inside Spot. Going to the front door, you flang it open wide and point in the general direction of Boys Town, indicating you wish him to leave. Finding yourself on the outside with the door bolted, you attempt to gain entrance by way of the chimney. En route, you make a sad discovery. Spot is now brewing himself a spot of tea in the fireplace. Fighting fire with fire, we ignite the couch. Soon the fire is completely out of control. The house goes up in smoke. But when the fire has gone out, you discover that Spot has not. 2 days later in your rebuilt home, you sit happily in your Morris chair, finally rid of your unwanted guest.
But Mr. Know-It-All, how did you get rid of him?
Who?
Spot.
Oh, quite simple. I used Spot Remover.
For all of you who want to become tigers in the field of journalism, here is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, copycats. Today's subject is how to be a star reporter.
In order to be star reporter, you got to bring back scoop.
You can count on me, Chief.
Here is hot scoop. Cover big boat fire at Pier 12.
Are you sure there's a boat on fire, Chief?
Positive. I lit it this morning on my way to the office.
Running up the gangplank of the burning boat, you rush down into the hold, where you find the fire burning merrily. This will be the hottest story of the year. Grabbing a nearby can of water spelled G-A-S, you dash it into the flames and await results. Hello, Chief. About that fire.
Got another scoop for you. Rush over to zoo. His 2-day-old tiger cub smoking cigar.
Are you sure there's a 2-day-old tiger cub smoking a cigar?
Positive. I lit it this morning on my way to the office.
Dashing to the zoo, you rush into the cage, clearly marked Tiger. E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T, Tiger. Once inside, you proceed to spank the 2-day-old tiger, which weighs 40 tons and is smoking the longest cigar you have ever seen. Hello, Chief. About that 2-day-old tiger.
Never mind that. Come back to office. Is man about to jump off roof?
Are you sure, Chief?
I ought to be. It's me.
At last you are to get your scoop.
And did you get your scoop, Mr. Know-It-All?
I certainly did. I stopped off at an ice cream parlor and got 2 of them. See? Tutti Frutti and Pistachio.
For those of you who lack horse sense, here is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, racing fans. Today's topic is entitled, How to Do Stunts in the Movies Without Having the Usher Throw You Out. You arrive at the studio and get the first assignment from the director.
You all set to go, stuntman?
I sure am, CB.
Here is scene. You start car blows up.
With me in it?
Absolutely, of course not. We stop film, you get out, then car blows up. Got it?
Got it.
Camera, action. Take 2.
War pictures offer a great challenge to the stuntman, especially if you're chicken.
Comes now big bombing scene. Dummy is in foxhole. Bombs fall all around. You rush into foxhole, get dummy.
Got it, PW.
Camera, action.
Right out onto no man's land you run. Bombs busting to the right and to the left. Somehow you make it. Leap into the foxhole, fight off the foxes, and emerge with the dummy, which is a bomb, and you are the dummy. Before the day is through, you find yourself on a 5,000-foot high cliff.
In this scene, you jump off cliff into net.
Comforted by the thought of the safety net below, you launch yourself earthward. The net is there, all right, but no one is holding it. And so in conclusion, to be a stuntman, one must always be careful to avoid painful injury.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're welcome. Hello there. Today's poem is the beloved old nursery rhyme, Rockabye Baby. Rockabye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks...
Hold it! You out of your mind, Moose?
No more than usual, GJ.
All right, get that cradle down here.
But GJ...
Look, this is a family show. No babies stuck in trees.
Mo,
We'd have the Baby Protection League on our necks in a minute.
Well, it's just a doll, really.
Who writes this stuff anyway?
Mother Goose.
Hello? Give me continuity. CP? We got a woman named Goose on the payroll. Uh-huh. Get rid of her. Yeah, the gander's gotta go too.
But the poem.
Sorry, too much violence.
But I like violence.
You like violence? You mean you like explosions? Trees falling? People being hit in the head?
No, I like violence 'cause they smell so nice.
For those of you who went from grammar school right into college, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, high jumpers. Today's discourse is provocatively entitled How to Run the 4-Minute Mile in 10 Seconds. The 4-minute miler should arise at dawn, eat a hearty breakfast, and go back to bed. Howsoever, if you happen to sleep in a Murphy bed, and Murphy is a night watchman who demands his bed back in the daytime, then you must train elsewhere. And the best place for a train, of course, is a railroad terminus or depot. Here, the neophyte miler has the opportunity of running on an Olympic-sized track. Of course, there is always the hazard that the Olympic special is also running that day. Last but most certainly least, you must have that final burst of speed at the wire. This can be procured at a Finnish steam room. You take a steam bath, then tell them you cannot pay for it. A Finnish attendant will then boot you out. This is what is known as a finishing kick. At last, the day of the race is at hand, and there you are, ready to win the cup. The race is on, and you discover that you are not only running dead last, but that you are doing it in the Indianapolis auto race. But you win anyway, and in record time.
Well, I don't get it, Mr. Know-It-All. How are you able to win the race?
I know the judge.
Once again, here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello. Today's poem is The Village Blacksmith by Longfellow. Under a spreading chestnut tree, the village smithy stands. The muscles of his mighty arms are strong as rubber bands.
Iron bands.
Looky.
Rubber bands. Anyway, I want some shoes for my horse.
Certainly. Something in an Oxford?
Oxford?
How about some tennis shoes? Fine for badminton.
My horse doesn't play badminton.
How dull. Well, how about this dress horseshoe with matching spats?
Just a plain horseshoe, Mr. Smith.
Well, if you insist. Whoop! Where'd it go? Oh! Under a spreading chestnut tree, the village Jonesy stands.
You mean Smithy.
I mean Jonesy. I just sold the place.
And now for all of you out there who need to know a little bit more about a little bit less, here he is, Mr. Know-It-All.
Greetings, ineffectuals. Today's recession is entitled, Wouldn't a Trophy Look Nice Over Your Fireplace? Or, How to Get Ahead. Being a big game hunter is really quite simple, like me. All you need is a rifle and a faithful Indian guide.
How?
Are you sure you're a faithful Indian guide?
Sure thing, see feather?
You know they're not making Indians like they used to. You are now ready for the hunt.
Look, here is tiger footprints.
How do you know that is a tiger's footprints?
Because the tiger's foot is still in it.
Here's a magnificent beast, and you shout to your faithful Indian guide who is carrying the rifle, "The gun! Let me have it!
What's that?
Let me have it!"
Seems silly, but okay.
Your wound heals quickly in the dry, warm climate, and you are ready once again, this time for the biggest game of all, elephant. And you do not even bring a gun.
Hey, Buana, how you going to get elephant without gun?
All I really need is a little toy mouse. If I show this to an elephant, he will become so frightened he will faint. And so, in conclusion, you can see that getting a trophy to hang over your fireplace is really no trouble at all, especially if you happen to have a flying squirrel for a little friend.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. I think. And now, here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello there. Today's poem is dedicated to babysitters everywhere. Between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in the day's occupation that is known as the Children's Hour. This is a very useful book. I hear in the chamber above me the patter of little feet. The sound of a door that is open, and voices soft and sweet. A whisper and then a silence, but I know by their merry eyes they are plotting and planning together to take me by surprise.
Yeah!
A sudden raid from the stairway, a sudden rush from the hall. By 3 doors left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. You think, oh blue-eyed kiddies, because you have scaled the wall, that such an old mustache as I am is not a match for you all? Like I said, a very useful book.
And here he is, that master of misinformation, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hi-ho, culture fans. Today's little lecture is entitled How to Be a Barber, or 10 Ways to Clip Your Fellow Man. The successful barber needs the following essential items. First, a red and white striped barber pole.
Bullwinkle, that pole is black and white and checkered.
Maybe that's why business has been so bad. The second necessity is a pair of scissors, which must be sharp as a razor.
Sharp as a razor, Bullwinkle.
An electric razor. It won't cut paper either. Last and, of course, most important, a customer. Do I see a volunteer?
Sorry, I'm late for engagement to bomb playground.
How about you, Captain Peach Fuzz?
I'd like to, Bullwinkle, but I've got to go get a haircut.
Some other time... Well, old buddy boy, that seems to narrow it down to you.
Yeah, well, maybe just a trim, okay?
Sure. You want a type A trim or a type B trim?
Well, what's a type A trim?
That's the kind Yul Brynner got.
Yul Brynner? Well, who got type B?
Here he is. General Custer.
I think I'll be a long hair instead, but I'll give you a little tip, Bullwinkle.
Well, that's mighty nice of you.
Get into some other business, quick.
Sure, but, what about the tip?
That was it. And thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're welcome. Ooh.
And now, here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello, poultry people. Today's gem is called The Barefoot Boy. Curtain. Blessings on thee, little man, barefoot boy with shoes of tan, with thy... Wait up now, you're supposed to be barefoot.
The stones hurt my toes.
Oh, come on now, rock.
Well, okay.
Once more from the top. Blessings on thee, little man, barefoot boy with cheek of tan, with thy rolled-up pantaloons, and thy merry whistle tune.
Yikes!
That's a merry whistle tune?
No, that's a bear.
Well, you're just ruining the poem.
I can't help that. Here he comes. And he's wearing my shoes. Bye, Bullwinkle.
But how do I finish the poem?
Do it with him.
All right, I just will. So though you give my pal a scare, blessings on thee, boyfoot bear.
And now, here's that connoisseur of confusion, Mr. Know-It-All.
Greetings, Pandemonium fans. My subject for today is how to water ski, or 5 steps to easy drowning. Water skiing is a relatively simple sport. No more difficult, say, than swimming the English Channel. It has all the thrills of regular skiing and none of the trees. First, we need a boat. I had something a little bigger in mind. Now, if we could have something in between. Thank you. Now, we need a length of rope. A little rope, if you please.
Here's the rope, Bullwinkle.
Very funny. We tie the rope to the back of the boat, slip into our skis, and we're ready to go.
Did you forget something, Bullwinkle?
What's that, Brock? I've got my swimsuit on, haven't I?
Water, Bullwinkle.
Glad you reminded me. I'll just hitch the boat to my car, and we're off. Sometimes it's a good idea to put the boat on a trailer before hitching it to the car. Now, let's find the water. Let's see, what we need is a body of water. Aha, something like this. Now we start the motor. Now we start the motor. Now we start.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're welcome.
And now, here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Today's offering is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, suddenly there came a tapping. 'Tis some raven come rapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. No raven. Back into my chamber spooky, feeling sad and somewhat kooky. Come in. Hey, you're no raven. You're a woodpecker. Quickly then I grabbed a poker. Okay now, you feathered joker, I'll teach you to interrupt a verse by Edgar Allan Poe. Now the room is round me waving. Feels like I've been in a cave-in. When will next I read the Raven? I can tell you, never know.
And here he is now, your dancing instructor, Mr. Know-It-All.
Ho, Chemo Sabers! Today our little seminar is entitled How to be an Indian in One Easy Lesson, or You Can Be a Tonto Pronto. First we'll start with the uniform. As you can see, the well-dressed Indian almost isn't. Here's the latest thing for rich Indians.
Bullwinkle, what's that dragon behind you?
That's the cord, Rock. Haven't you seen an electric Indian blanket? Next we have the headdress.
What kind of Indian would wear that?
A Cleveland Indian, naturally. Now the chief wears a big bonnet of eagle feathers. Must be for the super chief. The Indian brave wears one eagle feather like so, and the not-so-brave wears one of these.
What's that, Bullwinkle?
A chicken feather, of course. Here, Rocky, I got a headdress for you.
Well, what does that make me, Bullwinkle?
You now honorary pale-face. Indians don't have a weather bureau, so they make their own rain by having rain dances like this. May I cut in? They call this the Cherokee cha-cha-cha. Indians communicate by using smoke signals like this.
What does it say?
Says, put out that fire. Signed, Smokey the Bear. The Indian diet consists mainly of cornmeal, buffalo steak, moose meat, fish, and... Moose meat?
Well, thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
Don't thank me! Just send the cavalry!
Time for Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hi, culture lovers. Today's poem is a stirring saga of forest conservation. Woodman, spare that tree. Woodman, spare that tree. Touch not a single bough.
Hello, kiddo.
In youth it sheltered me, and I'll protect it. Hey, what you doing with that axe?
What else? I'm shaving.
Oh, that old familiar tree that...
Timber!
Now hold on. That old familiar tree, whose glory and renown are spread o'er land and sea. And wouldst thou hew it down?
You said it, Buster.
Old tree, the storm still brave, and woodman, leave the spot. While I've a hand to save, thy axe shall hurt it not. Well, that's gratitude for you.
And here he is, the Dean of American Numbskulls, Mr. Know-It-All.
Our lecture today is entitled How to Own a Hi-Fi on a Low Income and IQ. First, you should choose a hi-fi cabinet to match your furniture. Early American, French provincial, or, like my own furniture, early junkyard. Next, we have a few of our components. This is the amplifier, which amplifies the sound. Here is the preamplifier, which, of course, amplifies the pre. And the turntable, which turns the tables. Over here, we see the speakers, known to all of us hi-fi-matics as the tweeter and the woofer. Special care must be taken to feed the woofer lest he eat the tweeter. The next step is to plug it in. And the next step is to call the electrician. The hi-fi gives us lovely music, but did you know that you can tell time with it too?
Shutting that thing off is 2 a.m.
Thank you. Now I'd like to play some tapes for you. Must have put some Scotch tape on by mistake. But here's my real favorite. Sing along with Lawrence Elk. A-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
I bring my favorite tape, Bullwinkle.
Be my guest. Put it on.
Is adhesive tape.
Well, thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. And now, once again, here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello there, culture gang. Today's poem is Excelsior by Henry W. Longfellow. The shades of night were falling fast when through a alpine village passed a youth who bore mid snow and ice a banner with the strange device, Excelsior!
Amerikanische domkopf.
He dared the pine tree's withered branch. He braved the fearful avalanche. A tear stood in his bright blue eye, but still he answered with a sigh, Excelsior!
Pray tell me, said a mountaineer, what in the world you're doing here, and why you climb up here so high just to give that silly cry.
Excelsior?
That's the one.
The answer came both quick and blunt. It's just a advertising stunt. I represent Smith, Jones, and Jiggs, a lumber company that makes Excelsior!
And here he is for the knowledge-needy Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, greedy needy. Today we are here to show you how to be a human fly. First we need A tall building, and B, a courageous moose. That's me. And thirdly, or seedly, human fly suction cups, available at all local suction cup stores everywhere. Then all you have to do is climb up the side, touch the flag at the top, and win a prize. Then too, there is the stick the things on the building and start from there method, which is fine as long as you have a smooth, dry surface to cling to. Now that the smooth, dry surface has smoothed and dried, there is nothing that can preclude you successfully reaching the top, and... Which brings up the problem of building superintendents. It sometimes becomes necessary to actually look like a fly and simply walk up the stairs to the top. And thus failing, there is always the fire escape, which not only offers protection from the building superintendent, but affords maximum protection in case of fire. And there you have it.
Hey, Mr. Know-It-All, you made it. What's next?
Next? Oh, yes, I salute. Should have used the other hand.
Gosh, that's too bad, Mr. Know-It-All. If you touched the flag, what would your human fly prize have been anyway?
The prize. Oh, yes, I remember. A human fly swatter.
And here's Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello there. Time again for a small belt of culture. Today's poem is a searching character study called Simple Simon. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Said Simple Simon to the pieman, let me taste your ware.
My what?
Not your what, your ware. Let me taste your ware.
What where? I got no where.
You know what ware? Anywhere.
Who's got where?
You got where.
I don't got where. Ask her. Maybe she's got where.
Who's she?
She's witch.
Witch?
Yes, see if she's got where.
What where?
Witch has where.
What?
No where.
What's nowhere?
This whole poem. Why don't you start over?
Because I can't quit till I get a pie.
A pie? You said where?
Same thing. Your pies are your wares.
Oh, why didn't you said so? Here is pie.
That's better.
Better?
Sure. Now I'm getting somewhere.
And now, for all you travelers of the open road, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, carefree adventure lovers. Today, let's examine the most economical form of transportation, hitchhiking. First, we need two important ingredients, a road and a thumb. Then, stepping 18 inches onto the pavement itself, the hitchhiker smiles broadly at the hitchhikee, or driver, and immediately... Which brings us to the problem of overconfident. You must look modest but helpful.
Hey, Moose.
You see?
You got a match?
Why, of course, kindly sir. Say, you wouldn't happen to be going to... Which brings us to the petroleus neglecticus method, or out-of-gas look. If you hold an empty gas can, the motorist naturally assumes you need a ride to the next station. Of course, you must exert extreme care with the gas can, because you could...
Hey, Moose, thanks for match.
It may become necessary to trick the motorist into giving you a ride. By creating the impression of a railroad crossing, you make the motorist stop. Then all you have to do is... Oh, no. I'll stand over here where it's safe until he comes to a complete stop.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, you didn't do so well. Think you'll ever get a ride?
Of course. There's one important little element I left out that makes it absolutely certain I'll get a ride.
You're right, Bullwinkle. One little element.
Yep. It's illegal. Hello, culture gang. Today's poem is that epic of time travel, Hickory Dickory Dock. You're sure you know your part now?
Sure.
Okay. Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock. Very good. The clock struck 1 and down he run. Down he run. Hey, that's your cue.
No, the clock didn't strike 1.
I don't care, you're supposed to run down.
In my script, it's the clock that runs down.
You come on out of there, I'm coming in to get you.
Just try it.
Okay, with all the dag-flatted blag-stagging. No!
There. You'll be all right in a week or so.
Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
Now, just what caused the accident, Mr. Moose?
Well, obviously, it was hickory dickory. Doc?
And here he is, your favorite scrambled egghead, Mr. Know-It-All.
Today's lecture is entitled How to Be a Hobo, or 10 Easy Steps to a Bum Career. The hobo, sometimes known as the boxcar beatnik, carries all his worldly possessions in a big red bandana tied to a stick. Of course, nowadays, some of the more well-to-do bums use suitcases. The hobo travels mainly by rail, like so. This is called riding the rods. How I love to hear that lonely locomotive whistle. Sometimes we've got to hustle a little to make our connections. Made it! Looks like I caught the super beef, doesn't it? Between trains, we join our fellow vagabonds in the hobo jungle, which is sort of the hobo Hilton. Here we see some of the clever tricks of the trade. For instance, building a fire without matches. Waiting for dinner is often full of suspense, because the cans usually don't have labels. Now, let's see what we've got. Boy! Boiled tennis balls! After a hearty meal, it's time for Betty Bye. We use newspapers for our blanket. It's nice to have those warm Sunday papers handy. Hey! Knock it off! And now we bid a fond farewell to Hobo Jungle and hop a slow freight to who knows where.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, poetry lovers. Today's poem is a saga of the Old West called Little Bo-Peep. Little Bo-Peep has lost her sheep and can't tell where to find them. Leave them alone and they'll come home.
Okay, stranger, get.
Get?
This cowboy for scram.
Scram? How come?
You on my range, sheepherder.
Sheep herder? I'm Little Bo-Peep and those are my sheep.
Your sheep? You got brand on them?
Brand? I wouldn't brand them. They're my little buddies.
Buddies. What kind sheep are buddies?
Friend sheep?
Oh. You got to prove to me they're yours.
Okay, you asked for it.
Oops.
Hey, where you going?
Can't you tell? I'm taking it on the lamb.
And now it's time for that man of 1,000 helpful suggestions, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thank you, and hello, man of 1,000 helpful suggestions lovers everywhere. Today we are taking up the problem of how to disarm a live 5,000 megaton TNT bomb in your own workshop in your spare time to amuse your friends. Or just yourself, even. First and surest fire is the hairpin technique, which requires 1, a common hairpin, and 2, a common bomb. This method, when employed by an expert professional bomb disarmer, is 100% safe. 99% anyway. For the beginner, it is often more satisfying to work with a smaller bomb, or a teeny, as the professionals call it. Next, it is important to be able to detect the bomb before disarming it. One would think it would be this object because of the ticking sound, but obviously that's just to throw one off. Likewise with these two objects, but here, cleverly disguised as a bomb, is a bomb. And thus, another nasty scene has been averted by...
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, what happened? I was about to tell you your time is almost up.
Throw it away! Get rid of it! Run for your life! Lucky I got my own watch. Taking no chances. Now, where's that match? Oh, yes. I think it said 5:15.
And here, with his bird's eye view and a brain to match, is Mr. Know-It-All.
Our subject for today is how to be a beatnik. Some people think the beatnik is merely a bum with sunglasses, but he is more than that. though not much. The first step in becoming a beatnik is to grow a beard. This can be a long process, particularly if you're a girl. Clothing-wise, we should remember this important rule. The well-dressed beatnik is seldom neatnik. Beatniks hang out in unemployment lines, health food stores, but most of all in coffee houses. Beatnik joints have lots of atmosphere, but it's usually too dark to see it.
Coffee, tea, or goat's milk?
Coffee, I guess.
Coffee we got. What kind?
Let's see. Espresso, 75 cents. Cappuccino, 85. Sanko, 50. Refill, 25. Think I'll have some of that there refill.
Why don't you try Cafe Minuto?
Cafe Minuto? What's that?
Instant coffee. Special for you, I make with dirty water. How is?
Terrible!
Good! Should taste bad to last drop.
The beatnik is often fond of reading poetry to jazz. Thusly, Mary had a swinging lamb. He followed her to school. She hocked his wool for a bongo drum, and man, that lamb was cool.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
And now for an encore. Greetings, you culture bugs. Today's poem is called The Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, continuous as the stars that... Hi.
Can't you read the sign, buddy?
Well, certainly. What sign?
The one behind those daffodils.
This one that says, do not pick flowers?
That's the one.
Well, there I was, Your Honor, wandering lonely as a cloud that floats...
30 daffodils, eh? That will be $30 and 30 days.
Now oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon my bright blue eye, as I sit here in solitude. And then my heart with anger fills. $1 apiece for daffodils?
And now, here's Mr. Know-It-All to tell you how to conquer your acrophobia.
Thank you. The first thing to remember is that crabgrass is your friend.
Oh, no, Bullwinkle. Acrophobia is a fear of high places.
Oh, yeah. Thought it was crabgrass. First, the way to lose that heart-pounding fear is go to a high place and jump off. With a parachute, of course. Then, after the count of 3, you pull the ripcord. Which sometimes may not work, so you pull the emergency string. And thereby lose that old fear of falling. Next, we have the indoor fear that usually attacks the ceiling painter. The important thing is that you do not look down. Look to the side. Do not look up, for if you do, your fear of height will... Next, we have the fear of even lesser heights. When standing on stools, sometimes they teeter. That means you should place the stool on a softer surface where the legs will sink in a little, like this soft, mushy ground, for instance. See? No teetering.
Hey, Mr. Know-It-All, if you're telling us how to lose our fear of heights, why are you digging a hole?
'Cause a lot's happened to me, and I'm kind of scared to stand up there where you are.
Oh, well, you're not scared now, are you?
No, not as soon as I get my other shoe off. My heels are too high.
And here he is, America's foremost authority on space, because his head is full of it, Mr. Know-It-All.
Today I will discuss how to fix a flat and retire your car. Most people will go a long way to avoid fixing a flat, to a service station even. There is more than one way to handle this unpleasant chore. For example, the Bullwinkle Van Moose method. Oh, drat. Now I'll have to use the spare car, that is. However, the wise motorist knows how to change a tire. This is a simple operation, and a reasonably intelligent 12-year-old can do the job. But since I don't see one, I'll have to take a crack at it myself. At this point, I'd like to demonstrate the first thing the motorist does when he has a blowout. He places the jack under the bumper, like so, and with an easy pumping motion, he raises the wheels off the ground. Well, if we can't raise the wheels, the only thing to do is lower the ground. We take off the hubcap, loosen the wheel nuts, and put them in the hubcap so we don't lose them. Only trouble is I keep losing the hubcap. Now we take the spare out of the trunk.
What's the matter, Bullwinkle? No spare?
Oh, there's a spare, all right, Rock. Problem is, it's a spare flat.
What does the motorist do in a situation like this, Bullwinkle?
I think that's obvious, Rock. He becomes a pedestrian.
Well, you can't get a flat tire that way.
No, just flat feet is all. Ah, there, poetry lovers. Today's poem is called The Bee. How doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour, and gather honey all the day from every open flower. How skillfully she builds her cell, how neat she spreads the wax, and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. Boy, that's good. Oh, hush. Uh-oh. Touchy, aren't they? Oh! In works of labor or of skill, I would be busy too. For Satan finds some mischief still for idle hands to do.
And now, here to tell us how to better live our lives is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, lovers of the good life. Today we are going to learn how to avoid tipping the waiter.
Check is $3.29. 15% tip is customary.
Keep a sharp eye now and you will learn to save a fortune. Waiter, heavens to Betsy Ross. There's a live fly in my dessert. I refuse to tip.
Fly is no longer alive. $3.29, please. Expect larger tip, additional effort.
Which brings us to the fainting method, operating on the simple premise that when you faint, someone will carry you outside for fresh air. Once outside, you're safe. You just leave the money for the check. Oh, waiter. Oh, I'm feeling lightheaded. Oh! This stuff's too good for a show like this. I'm faint. Shh. Something must have gone wrong.
$3.29 plus flowers comes now to $4.74, expecting much bigger tip.
Then there's the disguise method.
Hey, you, moose.
There must be some mistake, waiter. I'm the lady that was sitting by the window. The moose left.
Fine. Lady, your check was $23.68. Tip naturally runs around $5 for even cheapskate.
But I haven't got more than $5 altogether.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, you did it. You succeeded in not tipping the waiter.
Yeah, and at $2 a day, I'll have the bill and the tip paid in just a little more than 3 weeks. A month? 6 months? Oh, well, they're closed on Christmas. Hello again, fellow club members. I'm glad to see you could make it today.
I second the motion.
What motion?
That we're glad we could make it today.
I move we vote on it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Yet.
Hey, you seconded the motion. How can you vote against it?
For me, nothing is impossible.
Well, anyway, the motion carried, and we're all glad to see we could make it.
Except me.
And now it's time for the Rocky and Bullwinkle Fan Club's secret code message. Boris, give us the code.
Never. I give you name, rank, and serial number is all.
Come on, give us the code.
Torture me, pull out my fingernails, I'll never tell.
Why not?
I lost it.
Well, on to our next order of business. Remember, today is Good Deed Day. Rocky, what good deed will you do?
Well, I'm going to be kind to animals.
Including mooses, I hope. Boris, how about you?
I'll double-cross 6 people.
That's a good deed.
Sure. Yesterday I double-crossed 10 people.
What'll you do, Bullwinkle?
It's time now for Bullwinkle's good deed for today. Just watch. I'm going to help this old lady across the street. Here we go, Grandma. Upsy daisy. There you are, madam. Safe and sound.
Yes,
Tut,
but
tut. Don't thank me.
I won't. I didn't want to cross the street. I was waiting for a bus over there, and you just made me miss it.
Hi there, poultry lovers. We got a real treat in store for you today. A special guest, Mr. Peter Piker.
That's Piper.
Yeah. Mr. Piker is the star of the well-known famous poem, Peter Piker picked a peck of pickled peppers.
That's pickled.
That's what I said, pickled. A peck of pickled pickers Peter Piker picked.
The name is Peter. Peter Piper.
And you can call me Bullwinkle. If Peter Piker pecked a pickled pickers,
Brother,
where's the pickled Peter Piker picked? How's that?
you got a bad case of pickles there, fella.
And that's our first question. Where are they?
We're what?
The peppers, the pickled peppers.
Oh, I'm out of the pickle business now.
You are?
I couldn't say it either.
Hey, that's great. What are you doing now?
I help my sister Susie.
And what does she do?
She sells seashells at the seashore.
That's better.
And now, here's that man who can save you money in 1,000 ways, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thank you, and hello, cheapskates everywhere. Today we take up the problem of buying a used car. The important thing is to buy only the used car you know is right for you. So naturally, the salesman must be honest.
Hey, sport, got a little sweetheart here for you.
Like him, for instance. You know an honest face like that couldn't steer you wrong. So, the first thing you do is kick the tire. That shows him you know what you're doing.
You pay for all damages. Just sign contract.
Well, I suppose it's the right thing to do.
Hey, sport, that car you just bought is a dog. How about taking this little beauty out for a spin?
Fine, but I'd like to take it to a mechanic for a complete checkup.
Mechanic is next door.
Oh, good. This way you can never get stuck. Say, mechanic, will you check this car over to see if it's a sound buy?
Car is in perfect order. You'll sign online here.
Here?
Look, sport, no motor. You need this little baby here. Hop in and take for spin.
Well, only for a...
Yes, officer, car is stolen. But we will not prosecute if Moose pays only $4,300 for little gem.
Do I sign here?
Yes, but better first practice on these.
I thought you said buy only the car you want. Now you own 31 cars.
I do?
What'll you do now?
What else? Look like a little old lady from Pasadena.
And here he is with an open mind and a hole in his head to prove it, Mr. Know-It-All.
Today's lecture is how to be an archaeologist and dig ancient history. The archaeologist must have a thorough knowledge of his subject, which is, archaeology. I have even gone so far as to read a book on it. To practice archaeology, we must travel to places which are famous for old relics, such as Pasadena or even Egypt. Excuse me, are you Abdul Ben Boris?
I ain't Rudolph Valentino, kid.
I want to go to the pyramid. How much will it cost?
Ah, the Pyramid Club. Well, there's $20 cover charge and $30 minimum. Of course, if you want dinner, is more.
Not the Pyramid Club. I want to go to the actual pyramids.
What for? There's no action there. Is a drag.
I don't care. How much?
Well, regular $40, for you $50.
That sounds reasonable. The walls inside these pyramids are covered with ancient hieroglyphics.
With a little elbow grease, we can clean them off.
Here's an interesting specimen. Let's see how my hieroglyphic English dictionary translates it. Pharaoh loves Zelda. That's sweet. Here we are in the main burial chamber. You will note the interesting form...
Okay, boys, bring stuff in. Put popcorn machine there, hot dog stand there.
Hey, what is this?
This is new attraction. Pyramid Land. Come on, boys, the tourists are waiting.
Well, thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're welcome. Hi there, sports fans. Time to... wrong script. Hello, poetry lovers. Time for another bout with the bards. Today featuring that famous recipe in rhyme, pat a cake. Pat a cake, baker's man.
Hold it, Bullwinkle.
What's up?
That's a chocolate cream cake you got.
So?
You know what happens when you pat a chocolate cream cake?
No. What happens?
That happens.
It's sort of flat, don't it?
Now what?
Well, the recipe says I roll it and pat it and mark it with a B and put it in the oven for baby and me.
You're gonna give that to a baby?
What's a pat of cake taste like, Brock?
Sort of like chocolate cream pizza.
Yeah. Well. Hi there, sports fans. Time to... Hello, you poetry and snow lovers. Today's poem begins this here way. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh.
That horse knows the way?
To grandma's, please, and don't spare the horse. See what I mean? Over the river and through the wood. Oh, how these... Oh!
You sure he knows the way?
Of course, Rock. Looky there. Over the river and through the woods. Now grandmother's cap I spy. Hurrah for the fun! Is the pudding done? Hurrah for the pumpkin pie! Hey, you don't look like no grandma to me.
You're no Red Riding Hood yourself, Jack.
Bullwinkle, are you sure this is the right house?
Oh, it's the right house. It's just the wrong story.
Well, how is that possible?
Easy. It's a 2-story house.
And now, here's that man with a master touch, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thank you, and hello, lovers of the touched. Today we take up the contents of my set of books on how to take your covered wagon through the West while being attacked by over 2,000 savages. They had to put my name on the back. No room. This wagon, as you can see, is covered with a special material that is absolutely resistant to all the weapons Indians use. It resists arrows, tommyhawks, spears, in short, everything the Indian ever employs. Well, just about everything. Next, we have the disguise your wagon method. For this, you simply need a wagon and an old used racing car. And you go safely through the Indian territory with no one knowing you have a covered wagon. You mean I won? Last, but the most foolproof, is the balloon method. One simply takes off from the east and floats gently over the Wild West in a balloon filled with non-inflammable helium. Or was it inflammable hydrogen? I know, I'll look at this little teeny label on the balloon, and...
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, your book sure sounds exciting. Can I get a reservation for one of them?
Hop in here with me, Rock, and I know we'll get a reservation. The meeting will now come to order. Everybody take their seats. Let's have a little quiet there. Order! Sergeant-at-Arms, clear those aisles. Order!
Bullwinkle?
What, Rock?
Aren't you overdoing it a little?
Yeah, guess I got sort of carried away.
I second the motion.
Okay, let's start with the Bullwinkle and Rocky fan club cheer. Ready?
Cheer?
How does it go?
How should I know? I haven't heard it yet. Hooray for Rock! Hooray for Rock! Greatest kid on any block! Hooray for Bullwinkle! Hooray for Bullwinkle! He's so suave and handsome?
Hey, that doesn't rhyme.
I know. Maybe I ought to change my name so it rhymes with handsome.
Why not? It's fantasy show.
Now, what's the first order of business?
May I have the floor?
If you promise to give it back.
We gotta think of a way of enlarging our membership.
Maybe we could eat more, Rocky.
I mean, we ought to have more members.
Or less auditorium.
I got it. Everybody bring a friend next time.
Hooray!
Hey! It's discrimination. You know I don't got any friends.
Well, did everybody bring a friend? Natasha?
Mine escaped, darling.
Captain Peach Fuzz?
I forgot.
Boris?
I didn't bring a friend, but how about some enemies? I got 1,000,000 of them.
Hello there, poetry lovers. Today's little gem is called Sing a Song of Sixpence. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie.
Everything okay in there?
When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king?
Hold it, Baker. There's only 23 birds here.
23.
Your contract definitely says 24.
And?
Fine print says if you are short one bird, you short one head.
Uh-oh.
Wait, look here.
It's just an egg.
But something's inside. Look, it's the 24th blackbird.
Pretty clever, Moose.
Not at all, Your Majesty. I'm always delighted to give you the bird.
And now, here's that man with the wisdom of the ages, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello there, friends. Today's wisdom comes from the ages of 3 through 5.5, going on 6. Today we are going to learn how to sell the encyclopedia door to door. First one simply goes for the direct approach. You just knock on the door. Hello, kindly sir. I would like you to use this handsome volume of the encyclopedia absolutely free of charge. Go ahead. I insist you use it with no obligation whatsoever. Next, of course, you impress the potential buyer with the sheer size of the entire set. Hello again. one knowledge-hungry, kind man. Would you believe it, sir? There are over 350 pounds of these beautifully bound books standing here. And then, naturally, there is the play on his ignorance method. Hello again, dear customer. I now open volume 1 and I see here aardvark. Now admit it, sir, you are totally ignorant on the subject of aardvarks. Baseball, cream kumquats, mousetrap, muskmelons, pies, plumbing, steam boilers, xylophones, zippers.
Gosh, Bullwinkle, you didn't sell the set. What are you going to do now?
I don't know yet, Rock, but there's one whole volume here that tells you how to give them away. Today we will have a demonstration on how to sell Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club cookies.
But we don't have any cookies, Bullwinkle.
Hadn't thought of that. Anybody have any suggestions as to where we could get some cookies?
We could steal them from the Girl Scouts.
What a depraved, monstrous idea.
Stop it, you're turning my head.
How about you, Natasha? Could you make some Toll House cookies or something?
I could make some jailhouse cookies.
Jailhouse cookies?
Sure, they got tiny little files in them.
Any other ideas?
Well, one of us could join the Navy. Someone would be sure to send him cookies sooner or later.
But, Captain Peach Fuzz, you are in the Navy.
Oh, yes, I am, aren't I?
Does anyone ever send you cookies?
As a matter of fact, everybody sends me cookies, and I'm getting tired of it.
Then we're in business. Now I'll show you some first-class cookie selling. Good day, madam. I'm from the Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club, and we're selling these tasty, delicious cookies to raise money.
To raise money for what?
Well, that depends on how much we raise. Gotta polish up my sales pitch a bit.
Let me try. Good day, madam. I'm from the Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club, and we're selling these lousy, stale cookies to raise money.
For what?
For hospital, what else?
A hospital? Who for?
For people who eat our cookies.
Well, why didn't you say so? I just love lousy, stale cookies. Here.
Boris, you are dishonest, crooked, shifty, deceitful, underhanded, and loathsome.
You left out vile.
You're vile.
Well, don't just stand there. Give me a merit badge.
Hello there. Today's poem is called...
Hey, Moose, how come you always read poetry?
Well, it's my part of the
You
joke.
think you are the only one with soul?
You want to read a poem?
Certainly. Today's poem got the title, How to Be Happy Though Miserable.
But...
Are you almost disgusted with life, little man?
But...
I'll tell you a wonderful trick.
I...
That brings you contentment, if anything can.
Give me...
Do something to somebody quick.
Oh!
Though it rains like the rain of the flood, little man, and the clouds are forbidding and thick, you can make the sun shine on your soul, little man. Do something to somebody quick.
But you got the words wrong. It says do something for somebody, not to them.
Well, after all, in poetry is not the word so much, it's the thought that counts.
And now, here's that smash of the window-washing world, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello there, friends. Today we take up the problem of how to wash a window. All you need is a sponge, a bucket, and a dirty window, like this one. Which brings up the point of always checking to see that there's a window. Then, of course, there's the window on the tall building, such as this one. It's essential that you don't frighten the office workers by suddenly appearing 70 stories above the street outside their window. So naturally, you tap gently. Oh, kind sir, I don't wish to distract or frighten you, so would you mind lowering your blind? The blinds! Undo the cord to the blind! Then there is the safety belt method. This method keeps you from falling by simply hooking one end of your belt to this side of the window and the other end of your belt to this side. No belt. Oh, well, I'll just use my suspenders.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, you didn't show us how to wash many windows. What have you got to say for yourself?
Just, where's my bucket? Thanks loads. It's guest speaker time at the Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club, and here to discuss how to get elected is that well-known political expert, me.
Oh, boy, if that's political expert, I'm Little Miss Muffet.
The first step in getting elected is to get nominated. We're now open for nominations.
I nominate Captain Peach Fuzz.
Thank you, Rocky, and I nominate you, too.
Is regular mutual nomination society.
Any more?
Queen Marie.
But she doesn't belong to our club.
So we lower our standards a little and let her join.
Any more nominations? So far, it's Rocky, Captain Peach Fuzz, and Queen Marie.
Bullwinkle?
Thank you, Rock. I accept the nomination. Nominations are now closed. Now the rugged campaign starts. Speeches, rallies. And so, my friends, I ask you, do you want honest leadership?
Yes!
Do you want intelligent leadership?
Yes!
Do you want Bullwinkle Moose? No! Funny, it says yes here. How am I ever going to win this election? Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club.
Bullwinkle, did you vote yet?
Yeah, I'm the first one here.
Congratulations, you win by landslide.
How's that again?
Look out window. A landslide is our only road to clubhouse. Nobody can vote but you.
Then you mean Rocky won by a landslide. I voted for him.
What's the matter, Bullwinkle?
The Bullwinkle Fan Club got challenged to a softball game by the Shirley Temple Fan Club.
Well, did you accept?
Yup, but I forgot we don't have enough members for a softball team.
Well, we better get some more.
But how?
By hiring me, that's how.
Who you?
Jim Morensky, world's greatest publicity man. My card.
Publicity?
You sell it. And for first publicity stunt, you go over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Isn't this getting publicity the hard way?
It's okay, kid. I don't mind a little work. Good luck.
Extra! Jim Moransky saves foolish moose!
Look, we make headlines first time out.
I don't see my name.
Look, that's you, Foolish Moose.
Yeah, that's me, all right. What are we gonna do this time?
You're going to jump into fireman's net down there. Nice crowd, huh, kid?
I'm supposed to hit that teensy-weensy little net?
That's the fireman's worry. You just got to jump. Rest is up to them.
Well, I'll make it easier for them.
How?
I'm gonna get down and jump from the first floor.
But...
Stand back, I'm coming in.
Jim Moransky coaxes moose off ledge!
How come you get your name and picture in the papers and all I ever get is moose? And where's all the new members?
Right here.
You want to join the Bullwinkle Fan Club?
No, we want to join the Moransky Fan Club.
Sorry, kid. That's Fan Club biz.
Hi there, culture lovers. Today's poem is called The Wind. Wind machine, please. I saw you toss the kites on high and blow the birds about the sky. And all day long I heard you pass like ladies' skirts across the grass. Oh, wind, blowing all day long. Oh, wind that sings so loud. Uh-oh. Oh, you that are so strong and cold. Ding-dong hurricane is what? Oh, blower, are you young? Well, there goes the poem. Turn it off! Turn it off! Boy, what kind of wind machine was that?
Your kind, Moose.
My kind?
Sure. Big blowhard.
Hello out there in TV land. Welcome to the Big Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club Benefit Telethon. Yes, sir, you're going to see such names as Bob Hope, Marlon Brando, Jane Mansfield, and Perry Como. But that's all you're going to see, their names. For guests, we've got Rockabye Squirrel, Boris Bedanov.
He's going to be really big shoe.
And our telephone girl, Natasha Fatal. The number to call with your donations is Sucker92222. Or if that's busy, call Shakedown 56565. That's the Chinese restaurant downstairs. They'll take a message. But now, here's our first performer.
Good evening, fans.
What are you going to do for us today, Boris?
For a start, I do a few impersonations.
Impersonations?
Sure. Once I got 2 years for impersonating officer.
Well, who are you going to do first?
Really silly character.
Who's that?
Bullwinkle Moose. Listen.
Phone in your donations to the Bullwinkle and Rocky Telethon, friends. Hey, how'd you do that? This is my natural voice.
This is funny accent.
Say, Natasha, how are the phone calls coming?
2 wrong numbers. 4 orders for chop suey. $10 for a show. Oh, $10 two-show on Captain Red in 4th race.
The chubbies.
Rocky, how much money have we got?
We're 10 cents in the hole, Bullwinkle.
In the hole?
I gave Boris Badenoff a dime for the parking meter.
Okay, I give extra bonus impersonation. This time, Sonny Tufts.
Sonny Tufts? Now, everybody raise their right hands and repeat after me. I solemnly swear to be honest, loyal, brave, clean, and trustworthy.
Just a minute, buddy.
Something wrong?
Wrong? Who, boy? What is this honest, brave, and loyal stuff?
It's the new fan club oath.
Maybe later on it mentions sly, nasty, and vile?
Nope. Just honest, brave, clean, loyal, and trustworthy.
What kind oath is that? You expect me to sell out, give up my way of life? I got low standards, you know. Come, Natasha, we start our own outfit. The Boris Badenoff Fan Club. Well, what do you think of the new clubhouse?
He's a real eyesore, Boris.
You really think so? You're not just saying that to make me feel good?
Oh, I wouldn't kid you, darling. With little work, it could be blight our whole community.
Think big, Natasha. We'll have Boris Badenoff Fan Clubs blemishing whole country. New chapters festering up everywhere.
How do we do this, Boris?
How else? Advertise on television. Feeling grouchy, irritable, nasty? Then Boris's fan club needs you. Modern-day clean living got you down? Want to strike a blow for foul play? Then join Boris Badenoff Beast Corps.
This was a paid fanatical announcement.
Double your pleasure, double your fun. Join Boris's fan club and learn hit and run.
Look, Natasha, he's working already. Look at those members.
Yes, Boris, but can they be trusted?
Trusted? Natasha, what a thing to say. Of course they can't be trusted. They're our kind of people.
Someday for our fan club picnic, sunshine, blue skies.
Sunshine, blue skies. Terrible, isn't it? But maybe we'll have a sudden storm later.
Okay, here we are. Everybody set for the sack race?
All set.
Captain Peach Fuzz, you're supposed to use an empty sack.
That would make it easier, Rocky.
Hey, your feet are sticking out. That's not fair.
Well, must be a moth hole.
That'd have to be a pretty big moth.
You got a pretty big moth yourself, buddy.
This sack racing seems awful dangerous to me.
Dangerous?
Yeah, might run into a tree or something.
Now, first one to the tree and back wins. Ready, set, go! Gee, I didn't know you were so good at this, Bullwinkle.
It's nothing. I spend a lot of my spare time in the sack, you know.
Time for the Miss Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club contest.
All set, darling.
A pretty girl is like a melody.
That's melody.
With Natasha in contest, it's melody.
Where are the other contestants?
What other contestants? She's the only girl in the club.
Sort of narrows down the competition, don't it?
As head judge, Natasha, I'd like to give you this trophy.
Pretty good, Natasha. Last thing you got from a judge was 90 days.
Well, let's eat. Did everybody bring his favorite dish like we decided?
Yep.
Bullwinkle, yours is empty.
This is my favorite dish, Rocky. You didn't mention anything about bringing food.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
I was wondering why they always call me Fathead. Hello there, friends. Today our subject is from my bestseller, How to Win Friends and Be Influential with People. I quote, pick out something about a person that you admire, tell them about it, and they will surely be your friend. Pardon me kindly, sir, but I couldn't help admiring your hair. You certainly are fortunate to have such fine, sturdy, good-looking, healthy, well-groomed hair. Mind if I take it home and admire it under a better light? Learn the interests and hobbies of those you would like to have as your friends. That's why I have thoroughly studied all the subjects that interest this man that's coming now. Hello there again, kindly sir. You may be interested to know that I am an expert on bowling, baseball, and croquet. Those are his favorites. From my best-selling page 35, I quote, sometimes those you seek may seem standoffish. It's just that they are shy. Obviously the case here. It simply means you must bring them out by doing little favors for them. Let me carry your package, kindly, sir. Oh, I insist. Now you'll see the beginning of a real friendship.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, can't you win any friends with that book of yours?
Oh, sure, Rock. One man promised to be my friend for the rest of my life because of this book.
Who was that?
The publisher. I promised never to write another one.
And now, here's that giant figure in the sports world, Mr. Know-It-All.
Oh, I'm not a giant, Rock. It's just my uniform shrunk up on me. Hello Hello there, friends. Today we take up the problem of being a successful baseball umpire. Oh, good. Here comes a player sliding into home plate now. You're out! Now, there, friends, is a good example. If something in your voice and manner says, I'm fair and impartial even if you don't like the decision, the player will always accept your decision in a sportsmanlike manner. Sometimes, however, a certain amount of flexibility is not only expedient, but more conducive to good health. Safe! I meant to say safe all the time, but... Now here we have an excellent lesson in calling the play quickly. If you call it fast enough, the player will not have time to take an emotional side. I will demonstrate. You're out! Safe! Out! Foul ball? Which brings us to the problem of wearing good protective covering to avoid injury, such as this face mask and stomach padding.
Hey, you mean to say you can't get hurt if you wear those? Let me try. Me too.
Fine. Now, are you ready?
We're ready.
Hello, poetry pals. I'm wearing this Old Mother Hubbard because today's poem is Old Mother Hubbard. Pretty slick, huh? Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog got none.
Hold it. You mean after 5 years a watchdog and I don't get a bone?
That's what the poem says.
That does it. I'm going on strike.
On strike?
I'll pull out every pooch from Pottsville or Paducah. Mother Hubbard unfair to canine.
But...
She's anti-dog.
No, I'm Mother Hubbard.
Unfair.
Now, wait. I don't have a bone, but will something else do?
Like such as what?
So she went to the bread box to get him some bread, but as soon as he saw it...
You kidding, he said?
So she went to the icebox and hauled out a steak. And as soon as he saw it, he started to shake.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
That's okay, huh?
Well, it's not a bone, mind you.
Well, then...
It'll do. Now, here's your new watchdogging contract.
How come it's all tattered on the edge?
That? Those are the fringe benefits.
And now, here's that super salesman, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thanks, Rock, but I'm not selling supers, I'm selling soap.
So, sell.
Hello, friends. Today we take up the problem of selling these here soap flakes. The best way is to cleverly disguise yourself as a washer repair man. Hello, kindly sir. Is the lady of the house in?
Ah, so it's you who's been bringing her those boxes of candy.
No, hold it, King's X. I'm the washer repair man, here to fix the washer.
I didn't know it was broken.
Now listen carefully to how cleverly I rouse his interest. Of course it's broken. It's clogged up due to ordinary wash-day soaps that produce too much suds.
So fix it.
Oh!
Let me know when you're finished.
You see how I've roused his interest? You see, sir, suds from other wash-day products aren't made for your washer. That's why the makers of over one leading washer recommend...
Is the washer fixed?
No, but sir, let me tell you why this soap...
Soap, schmope, fix the machine.
The essential thing to remember when you're selling soap is often the buyer merely wants to test your salesmanship abilities.
Is it finished? You fixed the washer?
The reason your washer is clogged, sir, is those thick suds. That's why the makers of over one leading washer... Oof!
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, what happened?
The washer's still clogged up.
Too much soap?
Nope. Too much me. Hi there, culture bugs. Today's epic is a poem about the English garden, name of the cherry tree. Up into the cherry tree, who should climb but little me? I held the trunk with both my hands and looked abroad on foreign lands. I saw the dimpling river pass and be the sky's blue looking glass, and dusty roads go up and down with... Hi there, Dusty.
I say, Hatchet, I do believe there's a poacher in your cherry tree.
A poacher? Confound the rascal.
I saw the pleasant garden lie, adorned with signs before my eye. Hatchet Manor, keep out, this means you. Hey, that don't rhyme.
I say, who's up there?
Ain't nobody here but us cherries.
Will you come down at once?
Well, you asked for it.
Good heavens, what's happened to Hatchet?
I cannot tell a lie. I did it with my little cherry tree. Hi, poetry people. Today's poem is the saga of a singing waiter, Tommy Tucker. That's me. Little Tommy Tucker sings for his supper. What shall he have? Brown bread and butter. How shall he...
Waiter?
Sir?
How's the Irish stew tonight?
Oh, the taters are old and the meat is a fright. Everything is left over from Saturday night. We sweep it all up, put it into a pot, and tell you it's real Irish stew that we got.
What about the chicken liver?
Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away, 2, 3, 4. There, they embalm our chicken liver, and that's what you get today.
Maybe I'll just have salad with Russian dressing.
Russian dressing! Tomatoes, beets, and ketchup. We used to make it red. Just put it on your salad, and you'll wish that you were dead. Hey!
Psst. Tommy Tucker, I got something for you.
What is it, boss? My brown bread and butter?
No, this.
How about that? 5 minutes on the job, and already I got a raise. Hi there! Today's poem is all about my grandfather's clock.
Sure is a big one.
Yup. My grandfather's clock was too large for the shelf, so it stood 90 years on the floor.
How come it's not running?
See, it says always his treasure and pride. It stopped short, never to go again when the old moose died.
Your grandfather's dead, Bullwinkle?
Not exactly. He just sort of disappeared. But that doesn't rhyme so good.
And the clock hasn't run all these years, huh?
What do you mean all these years? He disappeared yesterday.
Yesterday? And the clock stopped? Hey, do you suppose...
Uh-oh. Let me open her up. Grandpa, it's you!
You're expecting maybe John Cameron and Swayze?
Well, if that don't beat all, how could anybody be so stupid as to get locked up in a clock?
Stupid? Why, it's easy. Like this.
Oh!
Now there's something you don't see every day, Rocky.
What's that, Grandpa?
A clock with a face on both sides.
Hello there, sailors and other poetry fans. Today's salty yarn is a poem by that old ancient mariner, Alan Cunningham. Oh, a wet sheet and a flowing sea, a wind that follows fast and fills the tight and rustling sail and bends the gallant mast.
Bullwinkle!
And bends the gallant mast, my boys, while...
Bullwinkle, isn't your gallant mast bending a little too far?
Mr. Cunningham says that's how it's gotta be.
Now what are you doing?
I'm balancing the boat by, flipping the jib.
Flipping the jib?
Certainly, see? It's balanced.
Yeah, but suppose the wind changes.
Silly squirrel. Mr. Cunningham says it never changes this time of... day.
Moose overboard!
Yeah. Oh, a wet seat and a flowing sea.
Mr. Cunningham says it's a wet sheet.
He knows what he's got. I know what I got.
And now, here's that master of all trades with Jack from none, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello there, friends. Today we benefit from my highly successful book, How to Teach a Mean Bully a Lesson at the Beach. First, it is essential to find a lovely young girl in front of whom you can show off by defending her honor. Pardon me, lovely lady, but I wish to defend your honor should a big, rough, mean, loathsome bully kick sand in your eyes and... Which brings us to point 2. Always be careful in selecting a real lady to defend. Ah, here's a real one. Now, we wait for a bully to come by and kick sand. Notice how I allow him to build up a false sense of security by pretending to ignore him. Now comes the really meaty part. See, for 3 months I study my book, How to Teach a Mean Bully a Lesson at the Beach. And now I'm ready. Pardon me, young lady, but should a bully come along, I am prepared to defend your honor. Notice that a bully is approaching. Pardon me, sir, but you are a cad. You threw sand at us, and I am prepared to teach you a lesson you will never forget. Ooh. Well, I lost the battle, but I've gained a friend. Right, little lady?
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, looks like your book was a failure.
No, Rock, it was a brilliant success.
Success?
Sure, look. That's the book she's been reading. Oh, dear.
What's the trouble, Bullwinkle?
I can't get any newspapers to run stories about the fan club.
Why don't we publish our own newspaper, then?
That's it, Rock.
Did I hear newspaper? Permit me to introducing myself. William Randolph Hearst.
William Randolph Hearst?
That's my pen name. I used to write obituary column. Later, I won Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, Beth.
What do we name the paper?
How about the Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club Weekly Gazette and Star Express?
Well, that takes care of the front page.
He's right, Bullwinkle. Why don't we just call it the News?
That's catchy.
I I didn't know you knew how to type, Bullwinkle.
Nothing to it.
Clee booty ferglers up, Quirty Eagle?
Of course, that's just the first draft.
Look, Chief, hot scoops. Mysterious bomber demolishes warehouse. Mad fiend burns old folks' home.
Express train derailed. Great reporting, Boris. When did these happen?
Any time now. I'm working on it. Rocky, Bullwinkle, I just got some ads for the paper.
Gee, that's great, Captain. How much money did you take in?
Take in? You mean they're supposed to pay us?
Well, staff, here's our first edition. Now, what are we going to do about circulation?
We could rub our hands together. That might help.
What we need is a good, hard-working, ambitious sales manager.
That sounds just like you, Bullwinkle.
Well,
All those in favor of making Bullwinkle sales manager, say aye.
Aye! This isn't exactly what I had in mind.
And now, here's that man with helpful hints for everyone in the land, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello there, hinterlanders everywhere. Today we take up the problem of how to become a successful member of the U.S. Peace Corps. When you are sent into primitive country to help your fellow man, the first important thing is to find a fellow man. Then show them that your country has a new approach. The people back home really care. Offer them beads and trinkets. Primitive peoples like this appreciate that kind of thing.
Fake, 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 fake.
If, however, you find their state of industrial or scientific development farther along than you had supposed, the Peace Corps workers should offer assistance by showing the foreign friend how to repair or improve whatever devices they have. Kindly, brother, I have fixed your machine, so it is quieter now. Courtesy, U.S. Peace Corps! The next most important thing is to work along with them. That nothing too difficult for them is too difficult for you. And there you have it. The end product inspired by cooperation, friendship, and brotherhood.
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, it looks to me like you've just inspired this friendly friend from another land to build a rocket ship.
Yeah, happens every time.
Is it for defense?
No.
Space travel?
No.
Then what?
It's their way of getting me out of the country faster. Hello there, you wool gatherers. Today's poem is the old classic, Maury Had a Little Lamb.
Maury? That's Mary.
You're a boy, aren't you?
Yeah, but...
Okay, Maury had a little lamb. It's really me, folks. Its fleas were white as snow.
Its fleas were white as snow.
They're albino fleas. I got them at... Uh-oh, little rascals got away. Where was I?
And everywhere.
Oh, yeah, and everywhere that Maury... Oh! Went the... Oh! Hey, what's going on?
Those fleas are biting you, Bullwinkle.
Oh! Ah!
You better get out of that sheepskin.
I can't. The zipper's stuck. Oh!
Well, hold still, Bullwinkle. I'll shear you.
Oh! That's my own personal pelt you're snipping.
Well, here. Maybe this'll do it.
So if you have a little lamb, just take a tip from me. If it has fleas as white as snow...
Just use some DDT.
Yeah.
And now, here's that man with all the wisdom of bygone ages, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thank you, and hello, used wisdom lovers everywhere. Today we take up the problem of how to get your money back if not completely satisfied. For instance, if someone has gave you a useless article, like this aperture flywheel grommet with the vacuum gasket, you can return it and get the money instead. Pardon me, sir. Do you cheerfully refund money if not completely satisfied?
Absolutely.
And there you have it. How to get your money back if not...
Just fill out these 26 forms, please, then into our test cabinet.
But you said...
The first test tells us if the structural strength ratio of the grommet is less than the designed performance assimilator levels.
Oh. Hey, no!
Looks like nothing's wrong.
Well,
Let's see if the problem lies in resistance vibration level.
No, wait,
Well, everything is okay there. I got it! Maybe it isn't watertight.
Now, looky here!
Seems to be in perfect order. Sorry, no refund.
But you said you refund money if not completely satisfied.
That's just it. I'm completely satisfied.
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, what are you going to do with your aperture flywheel grommet with a vacuum gasket?
Keep it, I guess. I've really grown attached to it.
Attached to a thing like that?
Yeah. Got my hand caught in it and I can't get it out.
And now, here's that master of the the cinematic arts, Mr. Know-It-All.
Cinematic arts nothing. This is about the movies. Today our subject is how to direct temperamental movie stars. And our first example is a child star, little Muriel Merkel.
I's a bad girl, I is.
I am the only director in Hollywood who can make Muriel laugh. All right, little Muriel, the Colonel has come home from the war. Let's have a big laugh. A nice big laugh for America, Muriel. See, I really have a way with her. Next, we have Hoot Mix, a real he-man who never lets a stuntman do any of his hard scenes. Okay, Hoot, let's see you fight with the dummy.
Anything you saying, boss?
Cut! That was very good, Hoot. Ow! Hey, that's not in the script.
I know, I'm just ad-libbing.
Next, we have handsome Zip Farnsworth, the most temperamental man in the industry.
Yeah!
But I am so good, I have even persuaded him to do a soap commercial. Ready? Action! Okay, Zip, what is it you do with the soap of Hollywood stars?
That's what I do with it, Buster.
Thank you, Zip. And good night from Hollywood.
And now for the educational part of our program.
Don't say that or nobody'll watch.
Anyway, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, friends. Today we take up the problem of how to have a hit record. First, it is necessary to make a record. That part's easy. Oh, balloota-doota-bitty, rodo-so-titty-fo, zoot. See? But next, you gotta have it played by a top-flight disc jockey. And there's one now. Disc Dawson. Hello, Disc Dawson. You're my favorite DJ. Would you like to hear my latest hit?
No, I'd like you to hear my latest hit.
Sounded more like a hit and run. Now, you may think I'm discouraged, and I am, but the essential thing is he'll remember me. I'll just press my face against the glass here and he'll recognize me. Hello, Disc Doll, remember me?
How could I forget?
If all else fails, you must impress the disc jockey with the prestige of the company that made your record. Hey, look, Mr. Disc Dawson, baby. What do you say to that?
Only one thing to say.
And that is...
Sick 'em!
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, are you going to make another hit record?
No, I'm out of the record business.
But isn't that a record you're making there?
Nope, it's a pizza! One mozzarella coming up!
And now, here's the one man on television who really makes you think, Mr. Know-It-All.
Yeah, and I know what you're thinking, too. Same to you, buddy. Today, friends, we take up the problem of making your neighbor quiet without making him angry. Take that loud radio music, for example. Politeness is the important thing, and it always brings a polite response in return. Hello, kindly neighbor! I'm here to discuss your radio in a friendly, neighborly way.
My what?
Your radio!
Hey?
Radio, the radio!
Oh, all right.
Sometimes, however, it may become necessary to make your point in a stronger manner. Take that party next door, for example. One can usually get results by simply tapping gently on the wall. If that doesn't work, one must tap harder. And if that doesn't work... which naturally leaves just one thing to do, and that is join the party! Excuse me, please.
That's him, officer.
But, officer, I only blew it once, like this.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, it doesn't look to me like you're very successful at making your neighbors quiet.
Oh, I don't know, Rock. Here in solitary confinement, you can hear a pin drop.
Shut up!
Hello there, culture lovers. This here pin is part of today's poem, the Old Almanac verse, C.A. Pin. C.A. Pin, pick it up. All the day you'll... Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. C.A. Pin, pick it up. All the... Didn't get it. C.A. Pin, pick it up. Uh-oh, it rolled into a crack. Come out of there, doggone it. All right, I'll pick it up the easy way. What happened?
As far as I can tell, Mr. Moose, a pin got stuck in the motor.
Well, that does it.
Where are you going?
I'm going somewhere where I can say my poem.
But that's a bowling alley.
Of course. These pins I can pick up. See a pin, pick it up. All the day you'll have good luck.
Don't you believe it?
And now, here's the world's only tennis pro with antlers, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hi, racketeers everywhere. Today our subject is how to play winning tennis. The first thing to do on the court is to establish who is the master by using your pulverizing, non-returnable serve, like this. Whoop.
Okay, let's stop kidding around and play tennis.
And here you have my next example. Build up your opponent's false confidence at the start of the game. Then proceed to beat him with an easy lob.
My point.
I wasn't ready. Another way to ruin your opponent's composure is to switch rackets with him. Playing with an unfamiliar racket, he will be sure to lose the game.
Is we going to play or ain't?
One moment, sir. I'm pretty sure you have my racket. I insist that we trade.
Anything you say, buddy. Service.
Oof. Now, friends, comes the one surefire way to beat your opponent. You pretend that you're injured. This makes him feel sorry for you, and he'll start to play badly.
Oh! Well, I think that's game and set. So long, lame brain.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, it didn't work to pretend you were injured.
Who's pretending?
And you call that how to play winning tennis?
Of course. He won, didn't he?
And now, here's that man with a nose for news, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thanks, Rock. It's also handy for breeding and ornamental purposes. Today, our subject is how to interview a scientist that is working on a secret project. We begin by finding a scientist.
Without a human subject to work on, the experiment is lost. But who would be stupid enough?
Pardon me, sir, but are you a scientist? Point 2 is to be subtle about getting to the subject of his project. If the project is secret, he may be reluctant to tell you. You doing anything interesting lately?
Certainly. Sit right here and I'll tell you all about it.
Let's see. Say, you mind if I ask you about your personal habits, problems, hobbies, and...
Certainly not. I just love to put this electronic ball on Moose's heads. It's a habit, a problem, and a hobby.
Fine. Now what about pets?
I'm glad you asked. My pet. Let's just put him here and put a nice ball on his head just like the one on yours. There.
Oh, yes. Is your current project related to the rocket field?
No.
Is your current project related to the atomic field?
No.
Well, what's the current then? The current. I want the current.
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-All, what happened? Now, how will you remember what the scientist is working on?
Oh, I can remember, Rock. I'm almost certain it is a brain transfer machine. Hi there, culture and archery fans. Today's poem is The Arrow and the Song by Longfellow. I shot a arrow into the... Ooh, my, that's smart. Well, try again. Smaller bow. I shot the arrow into the air. It fell to earth. I know not... Oh! Boy, it's a dangerous poem. I shot a arrow into the... Oh, Faz. I chunked the arrow into the air. That's better. It fell to earth, I know not where. But when it...
You lose an arrow, Moose.
Why, yes. Did you find one?
What's it look like to you?
Looks like about 30 days. So if your feathered shaft should soar up high among the sparrows, you'll always know the final score. No hits, no runs, no arrows.
Tonight, Clubhouse 90 presents She Can't Pay the Rent, written and directed by Ingemar Bedenoff. Bullwinkle, is dress rehearsal already? Why can't you remember lines?
I remember the lines, okay? It's them pesky words that's giving me trouble.
Well, maybe if you ran through the part yourself, Ingemar, then Bullwinkle might remember it better.
Say, it's a pretty good idea. Let's run through it. Places. Action.
Is cold. No food for baby. No fuel for fire. Come in.
I've have come to collect rent.
But I can't pay rent.
But you must pay rent.
You see how tricky them lines are?
But I have no money.
Well, maybe we can make arrangement. What do you say, Toots?
Oh, cruel fate. Oh, woe is me.
I'll pay the rent.
Curses foiled again. All right, you got it, Bullwinkle?
Sure.
Okay, from the top.
He's cold. No food for baby. No fuel for fire. No fuel. No fuel. What have you come for?
Well, I heard you was out of fuel, so I brought some. And some baby food, too. Googie, 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 googie.
Cut it out! Didn't you come to collect rent?
Oh, yeah, I come to collect the rent.
But I can't pay the rent.
Well, that's okay. Forget it.
I'll pay the rent.
He went the other way.
Mr. Villain, sir, the rent, the rent.
Boo, boo, boo!
Hello there, poetry lovers. Today's poem is a saga of the sports world entitled Jack Be Nimble. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over the cat.
Hold it, Moose.
Who are you?
Allow me to introduce myself. Nimble's the name. Jack be Nimble.
Nimble?
My cart.
High Jumps Incorporated. Candle wicks a specialty.
You sar it.
Well, I sort of thought of jumping over this one myself.
Yourself? You got union card?
What union?
Local 89, Hop, Skip, and Jumpers Union?
Well, no.
You jump over that thing and we'll snuff out every candle in town.
Okay, you do it.
No, you talking.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candle wick.
Ta-ta! That'll be $40.
$40? How come?
Minimum wage law.
Minimum wage law?
Certainly. Minimum wage is $1 an hour.
So?
So obviously I get $40 a week.
And now for a more serious note on our program, we bring you the Poetry Corner.
Hello there, poetry lovers. Today's poem is the well-known favorite, The Swing by Robert Louis Stevenson. How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing every child can do. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide. Rivers and trees and cattle and all, over the countryside. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do.
And now, here's that wizard of the financial world with his 2 cents worth.
Hello there. Today our subject is how to be a top-flight stock salesman. Well, I see here conditions look very favorable for a upturn for Amalgamated Railroad.
Okay, I buy it.
But before I can safely recommend it, I owe it to my clients to inspect the equipment.
Never mind, I'll buy it.
Sir, I never sell a stock unless I am absolutely certain the value of the company is there. Next, we have a stock I can stand behind 100%, Amalgamated Electronics. In fact, I can safely say this is the most attractive stock in electronics.
What does it attract?
Lightning. But wait kindly, sir. I can, in good faith, sell you Amalgamated Barrel Stave at 10 cents a share.
I'll buy it.
Oh, wonderful. It's already up to 50 cents. $1, $5, 30, 250. It's split. 4,000, 50,000, 200,000.
I'm rich. I'm rich.
Oops. Back to 5 cents. 4, 1. I'm sorry you're wiped out. You've lost everything you have.
Well, only one thing to do.
Oh, these Wall Street traditions.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, if one of your clients just jumped out the window of a tall building like this, how come you look so happy?
I just remembered. Last week I sold him Amalgamated Ambulance, and now it's sure to go up.